You say Democrats are lying when they say you're going to cut Medicaid. The plan that you passed does instruct the House Energy and Commerce Committee to find $880 billion in cuts, right?
That's right. That's one of the committees.
So how did they get $880 billion in cuts from that committee without touching Medicaid?
Because ENC has it actually has the broadest jurisdiction of any committee in Congress. It covers everything, energy and commerce. You know, the name indicates how broad the jurisdiction is. I challenge you or anybody on your staff, do a word search for Medicaid on the resolution that we passed last night. You will not find it. That is not part of this equation, okay? We're talking about finding efficiencies in every program, but not cutting benefits for people who rightly deserve that. Work requirements for Medicaid. That is something that is public opinion polls almost 90%. You don't want able-bodied workers on a program that is intended, for example, for single mothers with 2 small children who's just trying to make it. That's what Medicaid is for, not for 29-year-old males sitting on their couches playing video games. We're going to find those guys and we're going to send them back to work. That's what everybody supports. That's what the Republicans are for. And by the way, we find dignity in our work. That's going to be good for everybody.
Kaitlan Collins tried to pull a gotcha moment on Speaker Mike Johnson, pushing the latest Democrat fear-mongering about Trump supposedly taking away health benefits from vulnerable Americans. But Mike wasn't having it. He shut her down and exposed the dishonest narrative they're trying to sell.
Both of you all made an interesting point, which is that your view is that Trump is shredding the Constitution. I'd like to hear more about that. But that it seems to me that you all both believe that the unelected part of our government, the bureaucracy, has a responsibility to resist the political leadership. Is that your view?
That's not actually what we
not at
said.
all.
We said they are upholding the Constitution, the principles of the Constitution, and at times
how is Trump shredding the Constitution?
My God, he's like.
I mean, seriously, do we have to give you a civics lesson that we have?
I don't know.
We put all power in the executive branch, the legislative branch, the FBI. Now we're in control of the military. We're silencing media. This is what you do in a dictatorship.
Are you suggesting that the president is not the commander-in-chief of the military?
I am suggesting that the president is going to put in charge somebody who is going to contravene the Constitution. And at some near point, this conversation will look very silly for you because it will be obvious. And right now, you're gaslighting. But when we get to the actual rubber of the road of this, it will be clear.
I'm interested in this conversation. He's going to put someone in charge who will contravene the Constitution. Like who? What do you mean by that? The president is in charge of the military, is he not? You said he's going to put someone in charge of the military?
The president is in charge of the military. That is how it works.
This is important conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm letting you.
This is exactly what happens when you try to defend gaslighting. It completely falls apart when you scratch the surface with a simple, targeted question. There's nothing behind it. No facts, no logic, just empty talking points. And who does CNN bring on to defend the left's latest narrative? One is a senior advisor for Kamala Harris's 2024 campaign, so totally unbiased, right? And the other is a Substack writer and YouTube host of Rap Latte, a guy who thinks he's giving a civics lesson by listing off random branches of government, some of which he gets wrong, by the way. This genius even forgets that the president is the commander-in-chief of the military. Seriously, this is who CNN has on to push their nonsense? The guy even claims that in the future, this conversation will make Scott Jennings look silly. I don't know about you, but who actually looked silly here? Let me know what you think.
A lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did.
It's going to be really interesting to see who's on that list, and hopefully it delivers some big surprises. Check back later this afternoon. I'll be digging through it all and bringing you the biggest takeaways and reactions as they come in. Stay tuned.